Go. All right, we are looking at the beginning concepts of demand. Very briefly, a few vocab terms and some other things. We're looking at the law of demand. So in other words, why do people want or consumers want specific products? We say ceteris paribus, which I'll go over what that means in a second. Ceteris paribus. If price goes up, the quantity demanded of a product goes down. If price goes down, the quantity demanded goes up. Ceteris paribus is an important economic term to understand. It means all other things equal. So if we hold everything else constant, because there's a lot of things that go into demand. Okay? Sometimes it's, whether it's advertising, sometimes it deals with taste, sometimes it deals with income, sometimes it deals with just in general what is popular, what's not popular. There's a lot of things that go into whether consumers want a product or not. We're holding all of those things constant, they don't move. Ceteris paribus. Price goes up, quantity demanded down. Price goes down, quantity demanded goes up. If anything else changes, the whole, what we call curve, shifts. And this is an important term, shifts. So we're going to create in just a second what's called a demand curve. If anything besides price changes and impacts demand, that means the entire curve changes. So it's very important that you start using the vocabulary I'm about to use, but also understanding the difference between a movement along the demand curve, okay, and an overall shift of the demand curve. All right, so we're going to just do some imaginary demand curves for Coca-Cola, for Coke. All right, when you draw a demand curve, you always put price on the vertical axis, quantity on the horizontal axis. So what this says, law of demand, okay, ceteris paribus, okay, hold all other things equal. If price goes up, quantity demanded goes down. So when price is high, comes over, hits the demand curve, quantity demanded is pretty low. So right now what we're imagining, this is what's called a demand curve for Coke. This is our initial price. Price 1, quantity 1. And all of a sudden Coke runs a good advertising campaign. That has nothing to do with price necessarily. Nobody said price is up, nobody said price is down. If anything besides price changes, the whole curve shifts. It is a good advertising campaign. We shift the curve out. Demand shifts from D1 to D2, and essentially what that means, if Coke eventually keeps the same price, it hits the new demand curve there, and they'll sell a lot more. Okay? Demand shifts. Coke right here, okay, same type of demand curve. Price is high, quantity demanded low. Price is low, quantity demanded high. This is our initial price, this is our initial quantity. A popular movie makes fun of Coke. And in class I'll give actually at least 1 or 2 examples of how movies shape things. But a popular movie makes fun of Coke, nothing to do with price. Okay? And that means the whole curve is going to shift. It's going to mean people in general are not going to want Coke as much as they wanted before. The whole curve shifts, in this case we say to the left or inward. The new demand curve, D2, same price, drastically lower quantity demanded. Okay? Now let's just say you've got a demand curve, okay, for Coke. Price vertical, quantity horizontal, price 1, quantity 1, and we just say the price goes down. Okay? So if the price comes down, now we have price 2. Okay? Price 2, it's the curve there, quantity demanded 2, or you could just say quantity 2. That fits with our law of demand. Everything else equal, nothing changed except for price. In this case, the price went down. From P1 to P2, quantity demanded went up from Q1 to Q2. 2 more quick examples. Again, product is Coke. Demand curve, price 1, quantity 1, price on the vertical, quantity on the horizontal. The Surgeon General of the United States comes out based on a study and says drinking Coca-Cola is good for you. Nothing to do with price. Nothing well, not nothing to do, but has to do with demand because it hasn't anything to do with price. The whole curve, what's called shifts. It's going to mean more people will want the product. Demand shifts from demand 1 to demand 2. Same price, Coke sells a lot more. Okay? Now by the same token, you could do it the other way. If the Surgeon General said Coke was not good for you, demand curve would shift in. The last example, you've got demand curve for Coke. Price vertical, quantity horizontal, price 1, quantity 1, the price of Coke goes up. For whatever reason, you show up to the store, it's no longer the price it was, P1 to P2. It's the demand curve there. Quantity 2 is less. Last thing we're going to state, that fits our demand curve, or our law of demand, ceteris paribus, we changed nothing but price. In this case, price went up, quantity demanded goes down. This is our first bit of review on demand. Thanks.